And so if you go to our webpage, you'll have a step-by-step introduction to the whole project. But basically what this is it should be relevant to your particular subject area and grade level that you plan on teaching. It should address either a Common Core standard or state standard. So for example, if you're teaching high school biology, you could choose photosynthesis for your topic. And you want to make sure that you approve both the topic and which of these options you're going to choose with your instructor. So I'm assuming that you've already done that. And what you'll be doing is you'll be designing some kind of a web quest or an inquiry-based learning project with the website. So we provided some different examples for you here, as well as one particular example here that one of our instructors created. So this walks you through a little bit of what is expected on the website. So this is one example of the Salem witch trials. So it's a web quest focused on that. And here's all the information that you should have on your particular page. A title on the page, background information that's going to motivate students, that's going to capture their interests and provide them with a little bit of background knowledge and just really to get them engaged and interested. So here's an example. She talks about the Salem witch trials and provides basic background knowledge of what happened and how many people they had hung for having witchcraft. And then she also includes the standards here as well. So on the second page, she has tasks, so describing the learning goals, describing what the students will actually be producing by the end of the web quest, and then giving an overview of the activities. So in this particular web quest, the students that are reading it are being asked to put themselves in the shoes of a child that lived in Salem in 1692, and journal about the different experiences. So provides information. So there's a particular task. And by the end of the web quest, you'll work with a partner to create a picket sign in support of whichever side you have chosen. And then through the process, going through and walks them through step by step. So tell them exactly what you want them to get out of each website. What should they be looking for? Don't just provide a random links throughout the page, but it's really meant to walk them through this process and to gather information from the different websites. And then finally, the evaluation should include some kind of a rubric to say this is how you're going to be assessed for what you've done. And the conclusion provides a summary and provides additional references. So this is one example, but there are a lot more examples, and we expect yours to be really in depth. Here's a really great Bill of Rights one that kind of walks through and provides you with different situations. So explore the links on our page, and that's a great first step. So let's get started. So the first deliverable that you have to do is a lesson plan. And we have a template here for your particular lesson plan. So you'll click on that template and you'll describe basically the learning objectives and other things along those lines. So here's what you'll see. And what we want you to do is you're going to log into Google Drive with your EDUC Gmail account, which should be EDUC and then your first name, last name, or your last name, first name. And you'll go up to File, and you should go down to Make a Copy, and then rename the document with your full name and then your section. So I'm going to File, Save, Make a Copy, and then here's the instructional website planning. This is going to be the lesson plan because that's the name of the first deliverable. And then I'm going to put my name, and then I'm just going to put Monday 11:15 because that's when I have my class. Okay, so I'm going to press OK. And then this should appear. So now I have my own copy of it here. And the next thing that you're going to want to do is you want to make sure that you share it. Right now it's only shareable to me, but if I click on the shareable link and say anyone with the link can edit, because you're going to want your instructor to be able to edit it, and then you can press done. So now whenever you are ready to submit it, you can copy this link here. Okay, so I'm going to right click, I'm going to copy the link. So the link is copied to my clipboard. And so now I can actually come into the assignment, which is my instructional website here, click on the assignment, and I should be able to submit it through the website deliverable lesson plan. Let me see if I can preview that for you to show you what it looks like as a student. All right, I'm not able to do that. But anyway, so I have my one here. And so what I'll do is I'll start filling it out. So here's my name and what section I'm in. And then I'm going to choose my standard and lesson. And what you can do is after you're done reading any of the instructions, you can just delete the red text. Okay? So I'm choosing my standard and my lesson. So my standard, I can go to the Indiana State Standards, and I can find that by, again, going to the W200 website. And I think we did that on week 2, yes. So there should be a link here to all the different standards, or you could just search it and find it. It should actually be linked on your Symbaloo. So here are the standards, and let's say that I'm going to pick I'm going to pick the standards for social studies. And I can pick my resources here for grade 4. And once the standard comes up, then I can find, let's say I'll just pick a random standard here. So identify immigration patterns. So if I copy that, and I come over here, then I can put down my standard. And then I can start talking about my learning objectives. So my learning objectives should be the students will be able to, and so it should be very specific here. You can't use the word understand or learn or something along those lines. It needs to be very specific. So the students will be able to list immigration patterns. And maybe also the students will be able to describe the impact of immigration on Indiana. Okay, so these are 2 items that my students should be able to do. So I can measure that they're able to list immigration patterns, and I can measure that they're able to describe. Okay, so my grade level, since this was a 4th grade standard, this was 4th grade. And what I probably should have done when I'm over here is I probably should have taken the number too along with me here. So if I come back over here, I should put on my standard, it's 4.3.10. And the age range, it's usually, it's a rule of 5 typically, so these would be 9 to 10-year-olds. So you add 5 to whatever the grade level is. And then your student tasks, fill out what should your students actually be doing. So thinking about the immigration patterns, so maybe I would do something like Oregon Trail where I would have my students actually like identify or create, maybe they'll have to create a map showing the immigration patterns. Maybe I also want them to journal about a particular town and how immigration impacted that town. Maybe it's the town that they live in Indiana, so it needs to be specific. And then different activities that you're going to do throughout the website. So what are the things that you're going to actually have them do and walk through? So you can fill that in. And then the next part is provide the title of your website, which again is very, very easy and simplistic. So let's say I say immigration in Indiana. Then provide a brief explanation and subtitle of every page on the website. So you should be able to have an introduction page. You should be able to, here, we'll just title this pages. So you should have an introduction page, a task page, a process page, a evaluation page, and a conclusion page. So that at the very least, that should be the different pages that you have available to your students. Okay, and so describe what's going to be on each one of those, maybe talking about what's going to be on the introduction page, etc., etc. And then offer a rationale to justify your web layout. So you can just write down that this is how a web quest is done and maybe provide a little bit more information there. The next thing you're going to do is you're actually going to go out and find really strong links. So I might go out and just go into Google and type in something like immigration to Indiana in the 1900s. So to try and find a little bit of information. So there's Indianapolis history here. There's family searches. Conner Prairie would be another great resource that you could probably look at. So let's say I think that this is a really great resource. Again, make sure that you look through these things and that they're appropriate. One of the other things that we have for you as a resource is this readable.com. So if you go to readable.com, the link's not working there. There we go. I can take the Conner Prairie website here and go to readable.com and then actually put that there, and I should be able to calculate the readability of that website. So this is about 10th grade, so it should be easily understood for 15 to 16-year-olds. So obviously that's a little bit too high level for my students, so I'm going to have to find different resources. So go through, find your different resources, the ones that are good, talk about why you selected it and why you think it's a good choice, and then what the reading level of it is. And if it's a video, you can describe why it's appropriate. Okay, so that should be your first step, and that should help you complete the lesson plan.